Oh.
Hi, this is Reena Jadhav here at Vator/Health, and I've got Rebecca Woodcock, who runs the health track at 500 Startups. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
Excited to meet you.
Very nice to meet you too.
So we're like kids in a candy store here, all right?
Yeah.
With a number of startups, the exciting panelists. There's so much going on. Share a little bit about, so where are you focused these days? What kind of startups are you looking for?
Well, so at 500 Startups, we are really focused on the early stage.
Okay.
And so the kinds of companies that we're looking for, are enabling health or healthcare using technology in some way.
Okay.
And so when we look for startups, we're looking for a company, founders that have already built a product,
okay,
and maybe have one or two customers if they're enterprise. If it's patients, maybe a little bit more.
How many more?
Several hundred, maybe.
Okay.
It depends. It all depends.
So you're not looking at thousands?
Right.
Okay.
If we're looking at consumer entertainment or something like that, then yes. But in healthcare, it's a little bit different, right? Yeah, a little bit different. But what we do there is we take the companies and we teach them how to grow their customer base in all sorts of different growth tactics. Anything that you would want to try, 500 Startups is a place to try it. And we teach methods and processes to quickly and rapidly test all different channels and how to optimize those once you find those sparks.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and so in the health industry, we're looking for companies that are solving. There's so many problems to solve in the healthcare industry. So I don't even want to throw out any categories.
What's your favorite problem to solve?
Well, I personally have a passion. This sort of goes with my background too. I previously started a company that was in the intersection of health and finance. And so I think we don't see enough companies that are solving those problems.
Okay.
Healthcare is pretty expensive in the US.
Yes.
And so the more we can see companies that are doing things creatively that assist or streamline the finance, payment side of that, then that's sort of my passion. The other thing, and there's so many categories, but I would also like to see a little bit more in. I feel like in healthcare we're playing whack-a-mole with all the diseases and the aging population.
Yeah.
But what I don't want to see is a missed opportunity to reinvent the whole experience of healthcare with the younger population who interacts with technology so differently, and they're healthy. How can we redesign the whole experience to keep them healthy and really bring everything down? Yeah. And I hope we don't miss that opportunity. I think I'm getting chills.
I agree with you, because I feel so much of this is reacting to the problems that are systemic today.
Yeah.
But what if we created a new world where these problems didn't even exist? That all the things that we're solving don't need to be solved if we just go down a layer and solve for the original problem. And so you're saying, startups, go look at the original problem that needs to be solved, which is redesigning our highly broken, highly fragmented, very expensive and bloated healthcare system.
Yeah.
And do you have some startups doing that?
The one company that we have that we just made an investment in, they are addressing mental health amongst college students.
Oh, yeah.
And that is a perfect age to remove the stigma, get that behavioral pattern started, so that the rest of their life they're dealing with anxiety, depression, stress in a whole different way. And they're crushing it. Even their business model, I never thought, if you had told me beforehand, I would have never thought that they could crack that, but they did, and they're doing.
Can you share more?
Well, so they're partnering with
the name of the company.
It's called WellTrack.
WellTrack.
Yes, and they're partnering with the universities. They're basically scaling a
university at a time.
They're taking an individual person that cannot support a student body population. Think about a counseling office. There's no way. No. So they're able to use technology to completely scale that person and triage mental health in a way where only the acute cases are sent to that. I think we have an opportunity to do that with the entire health system.
Great.
You know, there's this 80-20 rule, or maybe even more, 90.
Yeah.
How can we use technologies to replace find the 80 or 90% of places where we can replace that one-to-one interaction that does not scale,
especially at the triage level,
right? And find out how we can auto-treat or figure out how we can skim that off and make technology more useful in that sense, and keep the most acute cases for that one-on-one interaction, and then we can more easily scale our healthcare system.
Brilliant.
So
how are they funding this? Because universities are cheap and poor and hard to get money out of.
Apparently they do have budgets for mental health, and so they have a tiered program that, you know, based on the levels that are appropriate for the university, they are doing very, very well.
Exciting. Other such examples? So mental health, redesigning.
Mental health. There's a lot of unsexy things that I get excited about. If you think about the whole infrastructure or administrative processes, wherever it is, whether it's in the hospital or at the insurance company, I mean, there's so much that software that can improve and streamline. We have one company, and I don't know if I can say their name yet, because I don't think their deals are public, but they're basically streamlining a lot of the back-end systems for the insurance companies between the brokers, so that they're able to get more real-time information and quoting, which now takes months.
Yeah, absolutely.
And is very manual.
Absolutely. So from a 500 startups perspective, how many startups do you typically look to fund or bring into your home every year? So
each batch, as we call them, it's a 4-month-long program, will take anywhere between 40 to 45 companies. And that's twice in San Francisco.
That's just healthcare? Or
that's overall. Okay. Yeah, overall. So we do that 2 times a year in San Francisco and 2 times a year in Mountain View, so 4 batches. Right now the health track is only in San Francisco. We'll take maybe 8 to 10 companies each batch, so twice a year. And hopefully, you know, we can scale that up at some point as we automate and grow and get more startups coming our way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do they have their own demo day? Or is healthcare still part of the main batch?
They will be part of the main batch, but we do curate a preview day or a health-specific demo day where we can curate more vertical-specific partners, investors, and potential customers too. We can expand it beyond just the investment community when we get to that vertical level, right? So I think there's some interesting things that we can do with the audience with that.
And so for those entrepreneurs out there that are going, maybe is 500 startups right for me? Is it not right for me? I think you've shared a lot already. But are there specifically areas that you say, why don't I get enough startup applications in this one area? Is there some ignored area of healthcare that you wish more startups and entrepreneurs would pursue?
I think I mentioned that intersection between finance and health. I'd love to see more companies doing that. More creative ways of addressing that preventive issue. I know it's difficult to find business models, but that's what entrepreneurs are creative. If they're going to figure it out, they will be the ones to figure it out.
So you like the preventative space, the wellness prevention space?
Yes. And just a lot of more of the administrative stuff, actually. Data. We've done some blockchain security. A lot of health IT type of things. So I think some people might consider 500 startups too consumery, and that's not true at all. We have a lot of resources dedicated to B2B sales and how to run those and optimize those processes. We can be incredibly helpful from that standpoint. We also have a lot of mentors that can help with associate agreements or HIPAA compliance or whatever it may be. Those issues that startups need help navigating,
especially the legal side and the HIPAA stuff. So from that perspective itself, in terms of prevention and wellness, as you know, adoption's a problem. And 500 Startups has great experience in seeing sort of where is adoption working, where is it not working, because a lot of it's timing. So what have you seen work in terms of whatever you have seen for prevention, wellness apps? What's the sweet spot in terms of market space? Is it the 50-year-olds? Is it women between 35 and 45? So where's that sweet spot from a profile or a demographic standpoint?
Oh gosh, that is so difficult to answer because there are so many different unique needs to each population. And
is one adopting faster than the other? I guess college, you could say, based on this one company that's doing really well, you could say maybe there's some interest, maybe there's some profiling there.
Right. I mean, what I've seen as far as patient adoption, it tends to be in the early 30s, mid 30s. I think younger than that sometimes. People haven't quite had that shock with the healthcare system because they've been relatively healthy. They haven't gone to the doctor and been shocked by how expensive or terrible or whatever the experience is. But once you hit your 30s, you start having children, or maybe you're developing conditions of your own, and it becomes a little bit of juggle. Your parent is aging, and so now you're having to take care of them. So this is where I think we start from a patient standpoint, from a user standpoint, where people start getting a lot more engaged. But that said, there are ways to get the other populations engaged if you create something that fits not only with their lifestyle but their unique needs. And so the aging population, for example.
It's a great target.
It's a great target.
But we haven't seen a lot of technology adoption there.
True. But maybe we don't need them specifically to adopt it, right? For example, one company we invested in is focused on basically putting sensors around the living environment to detect routine behaviors. Just,
it's a great idea.
Learn about the person and what's normal. And so if something isn't normal, maybe sleeping patterns or eating patterns, walking patterns, every movement, if they fell, if they're not brushing their teeth, if they didn't, whatever it is, they can detect a deviation from what's normal and alert the right person. So this doesn't require any different usage or pattern from somebody in that demographic.
And maybe you target the children to actually do the purchase. So your customer is actually someone who is in their mid-30s or early 40s, even though the end user of the product might be someone who's in their 70s or in their 80s.
Or it could be a care facility. Or
it could be a care facility. That makes a lot of sense. What do you think of the whole health insurance paradigm? Do you see disruption there? Do you see 500 Startups wanting to find companies in that area? Because you mentioned administrative, financial.
It's tough to disrupt the insurance companies, and watching some of the the ones that have sort of been disruptive in the past few years have been struggling, and so I'm not sure how new insurance products will be disruptive. But I do think there's a lot that could be optimized, and there's just huge opportunities to just improve the system in general. So I am keeping an eye on that space.
So
there will be an investment, but
not yet. One last tip. I guess we're being told we're out of time. One last tip for the entrepreneurs out there. What do you recommend? What is the one most important thing you recommend every founder do that's focused on the healthcare space?
I think one of the biggest challenges for entrepreneurs in the health space is that oftentimes their customer and their user are two different people. So it could be a hospital and a patient, or maybe even it's the CFO and the doctors using a product, or the insurance company and member. I mean, whatever it is, you're dealing with two different people. So what I would recommend for companies is not to grow too fast. find some really early adopting beachhead customers and find out what is the value that they're looking for that end user, and how to increase and engage that end user so that the buyer is happy.
Smart.
And spend time cracking that nut. And so don't scale and sell too fast until you've really solved that problem and made a good argument for why is this customer going to repurchase.
Absolutely.
Or, renew a subscription.
Get your market fit first before you start to scale.
Yeah.
Brilliant insight.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.